So today I wanted to talk about this material, Super Sculpey. I've been working with this for years. Every now and then I do a sculpt with it. Anyways, I'm just gonna show you guys how this works today. Let's get to it. This one has 454 grams. Yeah, it's kind of messed up. At least here you can get it like imported, I guess, and you can find it in Mercado Libre. I'm going to leave a link down below of this video for an Amazon product similar as I can get it to this one, so you can check it out for yourself. I use that to make this little guy right here and this little guy right here. I think I have a burnt one somewhere around. If I find it, I'll show it here, or I put a picture of it after. Anyway, I keep it on a bag like this so it doesn't dry out. So not a toy, for adult use only. I recommend that if you're gonna use this and you're not an adult, you ask your family. They're gonna have to buy it for you. Yeah, you have to go through the entire thing. This professional quality oven baked clay, semi-transparent finish. After baking, pieces can be covered, sanded, drilled, or painted. I can attest to part of it. I haven't drilled them or sanded. Well, sanded I have. Painted for sure. Bought this quite some time ago. It's made in the US. There's some local versions, but this is the one I'm familiar with, so that's the one I'm most comfortable buying. They come in different colors, but this one is the one I've also used because it's skin color. You can see it. I was thinking of maybe painting this guy, but dust over him, poor guy. But yeah, you can sand it so it ends with a really nice finish. I guess the ideal use for this is if you're gonna do like a one-off piece such as this one, or a prototype maybe, then you can cast it into silicone or something like that, so it's easier for the rest of the process if you want to make copies of. I actually want to try to do that with this, but yeah, here in my house it's a little bit complicated to do all that chemistry. So anyway, maybe at some point I'll be able to. Anyhow, so if you want to start sculpting, you should get at least a few tools. There's some really cheap ones. I'm going to try to find a set and add it there on the description as well, if you want to try it for yourself. So I have a bunch of these tools. They're specifically for sculpting. Alright, so I have a bunch of this. I don't know if I'm going to cook this or just repurpose it after. As you can see, it's fairly easy to cut if it's not cold enough. If it's really cold, it can be a bit of a challenge to sculpt with. It's just like clay, just like regular clay. You have to work it so it gets more clayish. Let me just take this off for a second. Just gonna put it here. You really have to work it so it's more malleable. Just take out the air from the back. Ideally, you don't want to keep it with a lot of air there. There you go. Let's put that away. Maybe I could do a bust. So it takes some time. I may just fast forward this part because it's just repetitive, but it takes some time, so we'll see how it turns out. But it's like by carrying my baby around, I got like a, I don't know, some type of pull or something. I pulled something on this tendon, I think, and I'm trying to get better. Right, this, before I started drawing, this was my bread and butter. So it's a thing about you keeping an eye on the temperature that this has. It's something that you get used to. If you go overboard with it, it can turn too malleable. So you have to keep it within a certain temperature. So I think that's about alright. I think I'm going to do one of our traditional masks. Keep in mind that I don't have a sketch for this, so we'll see. Something that a lot of people do when using this is to save on the material. They make a base sculpture out of paper. Well, a lot of them use foil, aluminum foil, and they sculpt that, and then on top of that they cover it with this, and that's what they use. So their base sculpture is made out of that. In my case, this is solid, so maybe not the smartest, but I just wanted to make it. They actually encourage you to make a base structure out of a different material. You can do different versions of it. Maybe I'll do a video about that at some point. I want to do this. I'm between the mask that I'm talking about and one of my muses. Those are the candidates. The cool thing about the mask is that I can also turn it into a toy. So as you can see, it's fairly easy to mold, and you can probably find a bunch of videos about this. I know there's a dude that he makes like creepy sculptures. He makes really cool stuff, so recommend you checking that channel out. Might add him here on the video. He does some really cool stuff if you want to check that out. In my case, my channel is more about art in general, I guess, and concept art, but this is like my hidden talent. I've been trying to get better at traditional and 2D for years, kind of setting this aside so I can get better at this other thing. But this is what I used to do all the time. My video is getting frustrated. If it's too much, I'll pause this and go help out. Not uncommon for me to destroy what I had before. I can do that like this, back at the. Some people also incorporate like other materials for the eyes, things like the eye and so on, and they bake it to kind of do it in stages, so to speak. Now I feel like I lost my ability. Did I lose my magic? I think I'm going to have to do. Remember when I said that you have to be mindful of the temperature that the material has? Well, that's playing against me right now. This is too warm, so it's quite probably not gonna make it easy on me to work with. I don't know. Hopefully the back noise doesn't get through. I don't know. We'll see. Doesn't matter. So one way I can try to sort of deal with what I'm talking about by waiting until it cools down, which I might do. We'll see. The features on these characters are super exaggerated. The original masks are made in paper, so they use paper and newspaper to kind of shape the characters, and then they paint that. That's the way they made it, which is like the traditional way of making that sort of thing. This needs more skull. It needs to be integrated. There are different ways of dealing with this, but a technique I was taught to do as well was to make the sculpture in stages, in parts. Like if you want to add muscles, you can add them individually. To me, it's easier to work on the overall shape. Granted, that was specifically meant to be for anatomy studies, so it doesn't translate to everything unless you really need to. Oh, it looks like the Joker or something. No. Really crappy version of the Joker. Damn it, Creed. Something I forgot that you can definitely do. Something like this. Maybe better with this so I don't puncture myself. But if you put it on something, it's easier to deal with. So the manipulation doesn't add that much heat to the material. At least it can work as a base. I can definitely work it. So yeah, if you're curious about this material, from my point of view, I fully recommend it. Is it expensive? Yeah, it is expensive. It's not cheap, but one thing I like about it is it's reliable. and that, how many things you can say that about something being reliable for you. Kind of like that shape, but you can see that here kind of lost part of the symmetry on the head. Looks weird. Yeah. If I get annoyed enough, I might just destroy the sculpt, start over. I'm just gonna leave it for now and wait until it gets colder. I'm just gonna stop this here for now. Alright, so I left it for a little bit, still too soft. I might destroy it. I might destroy it because I keep on adding and I'm just making matters worse, I think. So it should be, there you go, just flat. Lower that. Let's do this. Let's compress. Let's see. Have some more here. Yeah, not on it. Alright. Sorry. Yeah. Didn't like it. Think I'm going to have to approach it differently because of what I said about the heat. Good thing is, as I said, you can reshape it as many times you need to. Fairly easy. The bad thing is that you do get, if you're finicky about those things, it does get dust and anything around you on it. Yeah, I would be mindful of that. A little bit of a pain to deal with when that happens. Maybe so I don't warm it up, I might use plastic. Going to use it as a separation layer so I can keep it. Let's see. So I can do. The other thing is like something like this allows you to add texture to something. So if it has texture on it, it transfers the texture to the object that you're making. I don't care about that right now, but if something to consider if you feel like it. So the nose would be like there, there. Can do this. Bow, 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 bow. And probably do this again. Still getting the same issue. Maybe the temperature in this room is too warm. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a take two. Just gonna take this entire thing and just turn it into a ball and leave it until I feel it's working better for this. As I said in the beginning, you have to be mindful of the temperature that it gets to. If it gets too warm, then you're gonna run into this issue. Anyhow, I'm going to leave this here. I don't know how much time I'm going to wait. Maybe I'll add it here at some point. Anyhow, I'll let you all know. So I put it in the freezer for a little bit to see if I can fix it. Check. Just gonna do it this way. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Okay, I'm just gonna cut part of it. That's cool. Okay. Yeah, that should be fine. I can use it. I can work with that. That's way better. Alright. So, yeah. As I said, it can be a pain to deal with if you overheat it. Just trying to keep that cold. Transfer the cold. We don't. Bow, 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 bow. You can probably listen to my baby in the background. She's upset because I think she's in the stroller, so she doesn't want to be in the stroller ever, and she just wants to be held. Yeah. This is not exactly the way I usually do this, but just trying it out. Let's see. There's a bunch of muscles, so you have to accommodate for those. I'm trying to keep this. Maybe I can cut part of this. Starting to mess it up. I guess this would be more like the way you would do it if you're doing 3D, or if I were to bring it out of wood, you would need to do something like this. So this is part of why now a lot of this is done in 3D. It's way more convenient. Everybody can get the file on the studio if they need to work on it. Way more convenient. Am I going to get the same result? I don't know if I'm liking the way this is turning out. Maybe I'm old and busted. That's probably part of it. Let's just turn that light on so I can see a little bit better. Hopefully you can see a little bit better. This is a freaking mess. I don't like it. I really don't like it. Keep on messing it up. I think I'm doubting myself, and you shouldn't do that to yourself. Let others doubt you. You don't do that to yourself. That's about it. I wanna also flatten that. I think it's a issue of approach for me. Smaller cut here, smaller cut here. Making myself a bunch of shadows, which I don't recommend. Away. I get the actual cut there. You can make it as precise as you want, really, for that area. And I'm trying to exaggerate the features, so this is not a real anatomy, like a human anatomy. That seems to be better already. And though this should be, I made it too large. Go ahead. Hey, that's better. That's better. Maybe part of the thing is that I need the eyes, and I don't have something to make the eyes with. Ideally, you want to actually make it so that this is terrible lighting. I think I had better lighting before. Ideally, you want to have maybe plastic eyes that are consistent. You just need beads that are spheric. But if you notice on this one, I just made the spheres myself. Kind of like that. So yeah, it still needs, so to have an accurate eye socket, you need to really push in because the eyes are inside our skull. You will get something like that. I don't know how much I'm going to push it on this sculpt. I'm trying to do something decent, half decent at least. I try to separate the parts that I need. I might need some more because the teeth should be there, and I haven't done that. So you have sort of like that, really exaggerated mouth. It's supposed to be kind of a devil mask. It did improve with the cold. Even though not perfect though. Not perfect. I have to divide this into two. This into two. I think my baby's a little bit sleepy, so she's upset. Trying to make the ears. Well, these are not ears, are like, I don't know how to call it. Basically protrusions or something, like scales. It's a weird thing because it's not exactly the ear. You have the ear, but you also have sort of this, maybe the best way to do this is to bake it, and I don't know if I'm going to bake it, but I should freeze this too. Probably the best idea is to freeze it as well. It would be something like so. What a terrible defense. It would actually be easier to do it cooked. You can sort of see So bad. This is horrible. This is a nightmare. Floppy.
That's what she said.
This is all like that. It shouldn't be. Anyway. I'm tired. So I'm going to revisit this later and just remove this for now. This is terrible. But you can sort of see what I'm trying to go for. Well, yeah, we'll see how it turns out at the end. Alright, I do have a reference I can use that I would like to use actually from a previous sketch. So anyway, I'm just gonna stop filming now and get back to it tomorrow.
Several days later.
So it's been a couple days. I tried leaving it here so you would like go back to default, but it's still kind of not. So I'm going to try to do this some other way. I don't know.
No, don't like that.
Let's see how this turns out. Oh good. I can make this better for sure. Just forget about this. So it's the next morning and I'm going to be working again on what I was doing and see if I can get it done now.
What year is it?
There you go. Well, even though I wasn't able to film well part of the process, this is as far as I got.
I am dead inside.
Now, I don't know if I'm going to bake it and finish it off, but to the point that I was trying to make, that is using Sculpey or making a review about it, is a great material to work with. You can make whatever you want with it. You can combine it with different techniques. I haven't actually drilled into it. Maybe I'll finish this one up and bake it so I can try to also sand it a bit in certain areas to see how it turns out. Still dealing with the frustration that the video I was making wasn't turning up well. It was framing wrong, but anyway, this is what you have to deal with, and oftentimes you're gonna encounter failures and make mistakes that you didn't foresee before, and you have to keep going. Yeah, anyway.
Several days later.
So it's been a couple days. I'm going to try to work on what I was doing before. Hopefully I can get it done today. So, oh my god. So I was able to cut this vase. Nothing seems to be going the way it's supposed to be, but somehow I was able to cut this. Like it should be 5x5 and it's meant to just hold this guy like so. We'll see how it turns out. Just need a of this to hold it. I can get the center fairly well, hopefully. Oh, this is where this went. I think I want a smaller nail. Which one do you think? This one or this one? Meant to hold this guy. Let's try to get the center of this. I have a ruler, but it's too large. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it this way. It gives me a center. Is it the center? Is it perfectly centered? No, it's not. How about you? You perfectly centered? No. Alright, let's try this. not the greatest though. There you go. Not perfectly aligned. I guess I could do it with that. Just keep it in place with some Sculpey. Anyhow, I just want to keep it like that. That is. Maybe I should put something else here. You know what? I'm gonna cover it with Sculpey. I don't think I need more than that. I'm just trying to cover the spot I've been modeling this from. I can probably fix it. Yeah, just want to keep it like that, floating a little bit. I have to add something here. So he's gonna need a neck. That I can do. Because I need to play around with the details with what I have left. You could also do this with, I guess, foil. There you go. I was just expecting that to happen, but you just need that little bit of structure. I should keep it in place good enough or well enough for me to finish this off. I do have to be careful though. Alright. Let's see if this helps. And I can close this back off. This is really good. I think that should be good. Okay, I think this dried out. So I can probably. This is shorter. I can use that for later. I can do this. So it should look something like this. Hopefully, let's see. That's my baby on the background. She's about to be one. Yes. Yeah. So if you feel like subscribing, it would help me a bunch. If you enjoyed the video so far and you made it this far, really consider subscribing. I go live Mondays through Thursdays and I try to upload videos consistently. I'm not always successful, but I do try to be fairly consistent. At least once a month I try to make a video. Other times, if I can, I make two, and I'm always like adding short videos as well during the week. So yeah, you can check those out if you feel like it. I have to adjust some things. I just want to keep that like that as much as possible, like the side view. See my friend there. If you cannot tell, I'm a little bit stressed out because I haven't posted this video. I'm trying to edit it. And well, I guess that's something I have to figure out for myself. If you decide to watch this far, again, thank you. It's awesome that you're here. Okay. I think I'm good with that. And to get this out of here might be tricky, but I'm gonna try. Hopefully I don't break it. This is like the cloth that this thing has. Oh, it's stuck. Ooh, there you go. You get it out? Yeah. Pretty much unscathed. Or not that much, I don't know. So this should go here. I think that should go there. Oh, wrong spot, my friend. No. Now I broke it. Well, you know, nothing in life is perfect. Perfect is an illusion. It definitely feels good when things work out, for sure, but oftentimes decide to go different directions. That's good. Not perfect, but it is something. It is definitely something. We're gonna check the references. The mask usually has like a piece of cloth that connects the neck, so I'm trying to do that. Take 3,402. I'm tired, master. Tired, sir. I'm tired. We're all tired, I think. Everyone is tired. Darn it. I had it. Come on. Alright. Let's have that again. Do this again, shall we? But this time around, I'm actually going to extend this a little bit more. Maybe I am wrong. Maybe I should do something else with my existence. Yeah, you know, yeah, conditions are just different now, and you put it here. 130 and try 15 minutes. Maybe let's lower that and see how that works. This is a first for me, but I'm going to try to add some more stuff to it that I feel it needs. Like the teeth should have a gum, so I'm missing that. I'm going to see if I can add that. And I don't know if I'm going to try and fix the, I don't know if you can call those ears, but I think it looks decent. For being the first time in a while doing this, I wouldn't complain. One of the teeth fell. Yeah, maybe I'll be able to fix that. So another session of baking, and this is how it turned out. Hopefully it doesn't have to let it cool down. Actually, I would like to paint it probably, but yeah, kind of happy with how this turned out. What do you think? Yeah, put this here next to it, add the reference. Still not finished, but yeah, I think I can still sculpt. Still some stuff that could be better, like that detail there, this detail here. Anyhow, oh, look at it. Yeah, just for reference, you can see that I don't have a coin now, but you can see the measurements according to this. So the base is 5 by 5 centimeters, so that's about it. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, if you saw the video up to this point, thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. Let's see how much time it takes me to actually edit this. I've been editing this for quite some time, and finally I have something baked, literally. So yeah, thanks for watching again. Consider subscribing, hitting that like, hitting that bell. There should be a video here somewhere that you can find. If you want to help me out and support me, I have an illustrated deck of cards that you can find on my website. I have a Redbubble shop, and I have foam backgrounds also on my website if you want to check those out. Anyways, thank you for watching again. Until next time, bye.